sometimes, you know, even blondes, you know, I used to be dark haired, even blondes get that. So I like to use a classic blonde. It's almost like a light brown eyebrow pencil. And you start in where you actually have hair. And I like to make the front part just a little wider. Makes it look more natural. And notice I'm not doing, you know, like a long, don't try to draw on your eyebrows, gang, because it's not going to come out nice. And this crayon texture, because it's kind of creamy, it holds down my little rogue hairs. You'll see them probably moving around right there. It holds them down. I love that part. And then I just kind of, I give a little bit more pressure on the outer corner where I actually want more color. The other part, it was just very, very light that I was just kind of drawing it in there. But do you see the difference in my brows? This just added a little bit more depth to it. I don't need a whole lot. Now, if I was kind of doing a more dramatic look today, I might give them a little bit more va-va-boom if I was wearing heavy makeup. But today I'm just doing my, this is my dash out the door look, gang, that you're getting ready to experience with me. And you want to get your eyebrows right, you just bring it up, make sure that that's where it stops and starts in the beginning. And on the end, just do a that's where it should stop and start. Boom, right there. And then to the outer part of the actual color of your eye, that should be the highest peak. I'm just fortunate that I have good shape brows. It's just as I've gotten older, they've gotten thinner. So I just kind of give them a little bit more density. And I don't need a whole lot, just because I'm fortunate. I really am fortunate. And then what I do to kind of soften the brow look, I take my powder and I kind of tap it into my eyebrow. And then it kind of takes out the brush look of the eyebrow pencil. So I do that, and then to hold them in place, this is our, it's backwards too, sorry. This is our brow gel, and that kind of holds down those rogue hairs and sets it. I mean, this won't come off until I wash it off, and that's great. It's clear, so it doesn't add color. And then I go with, this is my favorite cream eye color. There you go, you can see it better. It is our soft blush, and I use a cream eye brush, and I just very lightly go over. This will set, and it'll become waterproof, so I have an itch. And I just tap that. I don't go all the way up to my brow line, just almost, not quite. And what this will do, making sure I take my finger and tap it, because I don't want it to collect in the crease before it's dry, because then that kind of defeats the purpose. Do you see how it looks more finished on one eye? This, I really believe, as you get to the more interesting years, you don't want anything that's too heavy as your base, because this fills in all the nooks and crannies, and because it's not frosty, it gives you a really smooth look to your eyelid. There we go. Now if you want to have a little fun to brighten under the eye, you could just kind of roll this along. Just putting a little bit on the tip of the brush and just kind of roll it along. If it gets to your lashes, that's okay, because what that'll do is it'll give an illusion when you put your mascara on that your lashes are thicker. Anything that you get in there will make them look thicker. Do you see how that brightened under my eye? And that's waterproof, so it's not gonna come off. I just kind of roll it with my finger, just take any excess. You don't want it to be clumpy, and because then it defeats the purpose again of it being real smooth and waterproof later. So that's that. And then what I usually will do is take a contour type brush, the rounded ones, and I'll use a lighter kind of taupey, this is hazelnut that I'm using, and I'll take this and just kind of put it on the outer corner and brush that along. I want it to be stronger on the outer corner and bring it in towards the center. I don't want a whole lot of color on the inner part. And I always use my finger because I want it to be, it's my smudger. It's the thing that kind of lightens it, takes the excess off. It helps me to feel where maybe I have too much product. And that's kind of what I do for my everyday running out the door. Don't want to spend a lot of time on my makeup. Need a little bit more there. So I think we all have a thing that we feel comfortable with. And, you know, what are you doing to just put on a little bit of makeup, make yourself feel better. And then I always do this. Am I even? So see how this has a little bit more? And so I'll go in and kind of even it out. I'm going to go to my mirror because that's backwards. It feels weird. And the lighting is not so great on the reverse mirrored look. And then do you see how I'm just getting a little bit more even here? You have to realize that we're not equal. We're not symmetrical. That's what makes us 3D. And so just do your best to kind of make it look the same. If I am more lifted, like I said, on one side than the other, so I know it's always going to be higher. So I try to, compensate by making this side a little higher. So when I open my eye, my phone's going off. When I open my eye, that one side, actually it helps equal it out some. Still seems a little darker on one side. Probably is, but that's okay. That's what blending is for, right? Then I love rose gold. Rose gold is such a pretty, soft color. I use it to kind of do the ombre. I'll put it in the center and then I'll go towards the inner part. Again, I'm not going to put anything on that inner part because I want it to stay light and bright. But it just kind of ombre that brown out. And adding the reflection in the center of the eye is very appealing. But I don't want a lot of shimmer because as we get older. But this is a very soft color. And it just kind of looks good on everybody. But you see how that's brightening the center of the eye? And I feel like I always want a little bit of liner, but I don't want heavy liner today. So I'm going to take espresso in my eyeliner brush, and I'm just going to line my eyes with eyeshadow. Because I don't want a heavy pencil look today for my dash out the door look. And I just use this and go along. I'm just really good with liner, so if you don't feel comfortable, start with doing it this way. You just take your brush and just do little tiny dashes as you go. And you don't want to carry it all the way up until the tear duct. Notice how I turn my brush. So now I'm going this way. See the angle of it? It follows the angle of your eye. So then when I'm doing it this way, I turn it. And then you're going to meet it in the middle. See, it's not hard. But once you get the concept down, and you'll get better and better, better with it. And then in this, again, I'm turning it where the peak is at the outer corner. And do the same thing to the other side. If you like a little tail, just make it a little longer. Somebody really wants to text me. I should turn that off. Sorry about that, gang. Hope that's not distracting you. You probably can't even hear it. But I am almost done. I'm just going to add a little glow of cheek color. And then I do my correcting under my eye for any fallout. It's always the last thing I do before my mascara. Because inevitably you're going to have a little bit of fallout under the eye. It's just, the way the things happen. And I think it just brightens the eye tremendously. Anybody who maybe has discoloration under their eye, I have a little bit. The foundation helps a lot. But I do have a little bit, especially when I'm not feeling the greatest. So the first thing to do is just take your powder and just kind of take off the excess that maybe trickled down. That's the first thing I do. And I'm going to take my cheeky cheek. And I love the brighter pinks because they just give you such a nice glow. And this is strawberry. I think that's the color. Let me see what I'm using. Let's see. No, ripe watermelon. It's not the strawberry, sorry. And it's got it built in. These are our dual colors. It's got a built-in highlighter, which I'm going to show you what to do with. So I'm just got this on there. Always blow your excess off. And then smile. And you want to hit, I just kind of tap it along. To get a nice even distribution, notice I'm not stroking. You don't want to do that right away. And then you can blend that in. And don't be afraid because it's going to come off a little bright at first. Most people when they first put on our cheek color, they're like, oh my gosh. No, it's not going to stay that way. I promise you. It just isn't. And I always go one stroke across my forehead, I tip my nose, and then I tip my chin. Now what I want you to do is I want you to take this just on the edge. Don't get more of that cheek color, so make sure you're not getting that on there. It's right here. And then you're going to highlight the cheekbone. Check that out. Isn't that pretty? But do you see what it's doing? It's softening it, and it's just giving you a glow right where you want it. And that just blends it in. And the other thing I do is I actually go over my eyebrows too, right there. This gives you a nice soft reflection, and it's highlighting those features we want to bring out. And I always go right down my nose too, because it's a highlighter. Do you see what it just did? Okay, let me get back because the lighting is just not great. All right, now, under eye corrector, oh my gosh, I just love this product. You do this before you put your mascara on, gang. And the brush you want to use, the foundation brush, I love this brush because it's so smooth. And what you're going to do is mine's getting low, you can see. So I'm digging down in there and pulling it out. And you're going to do just tap it around the eye area. You don't need too much. When you first get this, you won't be able to do it like that. You're going to put on very little amount, but mine is getting low. And then you're going to take the brush and you're going to evenly distribute this by just tapping it. You do not stroke it till you get to the very end, and then you're going to pull it back. Okay? I use this to kind of get a nice sharp edge to my liner. And then whatever's left, I kind of do around the eye. Kind of blends in that highlighter a little bit, and making sure you're getting it right up under there, especially if you have darkness there. And you'll see that it really kind of brings it all together. You can't overuse this product, ladies, and get too much. So just get the feel of it so that you know the exact amount you need to use for you. I think you'll get good after a while. You'll be like, you'll know exactly the amount you need. And again, as it starts to, you start using it up. When it's brand new, you can use it too much because you get too much on that little doe foot applicator. But that is, to me, that's just amazing, the difference it makes in your eyes. It's like, whoa. Now I feel like I look fresher. I look like I've been out in the sun a little bit in a good way. But I always feel like the finishing touch is I take my big brush with a little bit of powder in there, not much. You'll see there's not much on there. And I just go over my whole face because it just finishes it off and blends in my neck. I close my lips up. I always do my lips last. And just kind of dusting it right almost into the hairline because there's not much on here. This is really just taking everything and making it look, I like to say, real. Because you don't want to look like you've got, this is a fresh look. You don't want it to look heavy. Okay, so mascara is last. And I love, love, love. I took my eyelash curler downstairs. I love our new eyelash curler, so it's really made a difference. Usually I don't use eyelash curlers much because I have very thin lashes. They're long, but they're thin and they break easily. So you're going to look for the curved part. There it is right there, see it? And that's the part that distributes the mascara. So you don't need much. And then you just do a half turn and then pull it through. So one, I say, puts it on, and the other pulls it through the ends. And I love this mascara. You know why? Because mascara takes a while to put on. Well, this mascara doesn't. You only need one coat. Now, if you like kind of a thicker, more of a spider kind of look to your lashes, I don't think that's necessarily wrong. But like I said, I have very long lashes. They're just thin. So this intensity mascara